Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host, Nathan P. Butler, author of A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to U.S. Star Wars home video releases. We're deviating a little bit from the theme of the book, at least this time, in that we're taking a look here at a release from outside the United States. Last episode and the episode before, we looked at some boxed sets of Clone Wars seasons from the UK. First, we looked at the Blu-ray set of the complete seasons 1 to 5 because a lot of people were looking at this as a possible alternative to that seasons 1 through 5 collector's edition from the US that has become rather pricey on the secondary market. When we looked at that one, we also looked at its DVD equivalent. Then last episode, we looked at some sort of mid-series boxed sets, which were the complete seasons 1 and 2, and the complete seasons 1, 2, and 3 boxed sets, also from the UK. Now, using this as sort of a model of what to expect, we're going to jump out of the UK, but instead of returning to the US, we're going to head to the European mainland, and we're going to check out something from France. What I think, is the very first French item to enter my Star Wars home video library, and the first outside of that premium limited box edition from MovieNext for The Force Awakens that really kind of combines my collecting focus right now, which is Star Wars home video releases, with my wife's collecting focus, because she collects things that are Kylo Ren or Yoda, and there's actually a Kylo Ren figure inside that premium limited box edition. But we've looked at that before. So what is it we're looking at from France that somehow combines my interest, her interest, and the Clone Wars, and somehow needed this as a visual reference? It's actually something pretty cool, yet something kind of weird. It's better just to show you. It's this. This is the Clone Wars, the complete seasons 1 through 5, not from the UK, but from France. And you'll notice here that this particular one is special in that it's got a pack-in bonus item, which is a Funko Pop Yoda figure. What? Yes. Somehow those two companies got together for a French release that I haven't really seen any other equivalents for out there. Certainly not in the US. Doesn't look like in the UK either. It brings together the idea of a season or series set, in this case, basically a series set before Netflix got season 6, with the idea of a collectible that has its own collecting community out there. Funko Pop. Thankfully, my wife already had the one that's in here, so I don't have to worry about her swiping it or anything like that. So what do we get here? It's kind of an odd little thing. But we've got Blu-ray symbol plus Yoda, right? Blu-ray symbol plus a symbol of the Yoda Funko Pop as its format, I guess. The complete seasons 1 through 5, saisons 1 through 5. I'm sure I said that wrong, and I know I didn't say the numbers in French. I don't know any French. Then we have the Clone Wars logo. Similar art to what we got here. A little extra space for a window off to the side. Nothing underneath. This side, in Blu-ray plus Yoda. Clone Wars. Yoda himself there. We'll come back to the back. This side, same format thing. Same title there with the title running underneath, but then a slightly widening little window there for our Funko Pop Yoda. The back, images from across the series. Text about it, which I'm assuming is that same text we've read over and over again from the UK, plus a description there. It is all in French. Tells you what it includes. Has the images for the individual season sets, which is basically what we saw with the UK set there. Information about the discs, legalese and everything down there at the bottom. For what it's worth, if I'm reading this correctly, looks like it's the exact same audio options as you get on the UK discs. I did do some direct comparisons, and it appears that that is the case, so no need to go into that in depth here. It is from, down there in the green, Tous Publics, whatever that may be. Okay. And then at the top, Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and then Funko Pop figurine, Yoda. The Yoda picture, the box, bottom, is just legalese and whatnot down there. But kind of a cool, unusual package here. It's got a little flap that lets you open the top. And then the interior is a little bit on the weird side. You've got this little cardboard thing that sits on top to allow a little bit of padding between the tops of the Blu-ray cases and the Funko Pop and the top of the box, which is weird to me because they're all about the same size. In fact, the Blu-ray cases stand a little taller than the Funko Pop package, so why not just make the box the height of the Blu-ray cases instead of needing this on top of it? Weird. Also, once you take that piece off, there's a lot of extra space in here, too. They made the box wider than it needed to be. For the Funko Pop and the two Blu-ray cases, there's just some dead space with a little cardboard piece to keep everything from slapping around inside. It's a really oddly designed outer box. Inside, we, of course, have our Funko Pop Yoda here, number 02, or just, 2. Cool-looking Yoda. Give you the different angles on it here. Not going to open Yoda up. No particular reason, just don't feel like it. Rather keep it pristine in the case here, at least for now, or in the box, at least for now. The information on the back does tend to be in English with translations underneath it. And I would note here that this is copyright 2011, so this would have come out a couple of years prior to this set actually coming out. So it's an older product being packed in. And then interestingly, whereas this is your UK packaging, and all that's inside it are just the regular season sets, and it even shows them, we see the same set images on the back of the box for this French version, but it's actually not the individual season sets that are just stuck in this box. Instead, they went for kind of a hybrid of this and the US version, in that it actually uses those same big Blu-ray cases that were in the Seasons 1 through 5 Collector's Edition in the US. Interesting. Right down to the fact that there is nothing specific on here that would suggest that this is French, with the exception of if you read the little legalese down at the bottom, it is in French. So it isn't the exact same piece of paper shoved in here. There is a translation involved. You open it up, like, well, okay, let's check out what we've got. We've got a battle sequence kind of there in the background, but as you look at the discs, wait a second, that's odd. The discs are the French version from the regular French season sets. Hence, not having a uniform background, having some repeated characters, having the interdit et la location thing underneath. Right? French language, of course, on there. But otherwise, season set design disc labels, not in keeping with the US Collector's Edition. So, your discs have the season set labels, which is kind of how it is in here, and yet the outer packaging of the disc holder, the case, is based on the US Collector's Edition, but then the outer packaging is based on this one from the UK. It's a weird hybrid of the Season 1 through 5 Collector's Edition from the US, in terms of packaging at least, and the complete Seasons 1 through 5 box set from the UK, kind of merging together, having themselves a baby that somehow has a Yoda Funko Pop inside it as well. Kind of a weird package, but a really cool way to get yourself a copy of Seasons 1 through 5 of The Clone Wars on Blu-ray that can be watched in the US. Granted, the labels aren't going to wind up being in English, but shouldn't be that big of a deal to most fans who just want to pop it in and watch it. And you get a Funko Pop in a relatively hard-to-find, unique package. I would just urge you, though, to keep in mind that picking this up is about getting a unique collectible, an unusual collectible for your Star Wars home video library. It is not, like this one, going to be about being more cost-effective than picking up the US Seasons 1 through 5 Collector's Edition. Whereas this is usually a bit cheaper than the US version. This one, being relatively rare now, tends to run about $200 everywhere that I've ever seen it posted for sale. So just bear that in mind. This isn't about cost effectiveness. This is about the Yoda Funko Pop, which you can buy elsewhere. It's just the regular retail one from 2011 in a cool, unusual Star Wars home video library item. And that's why I got it, because I thought, what better place to put something weird and Star Wars home video than in this Star Wars home video library, which can be featured on the show. With that, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers. Or should I say, adieu.